Your escape just now cost you an hour here in the world.
Destiny is destiny.
Light, you've got to draw back. There's no sense in trying to push through this sandstorm. Nearby is probably the Bandit gang's base. They should know something about the Clavis, considering how much time they've spent in the ruins.
I think you might like this.
No way!
Evil has a price. I will fight evil. The end is close.
But be careful if you go in there.
You think you can beat me? Time to mix it up. It's your funeral. Time to repent. I play by my own rules.
Do not hesitate to heal yourself if you need to.
Think you might like this.
This is a branch of the famous Tobias's store you know and love. You do know Tobias. He is the preferred merchant of the great bandit gang Monoculus. Out here in the desert, he's in a class of his own.
Visit the main door.
Right, if this is what you want. Evil has a price. Go to hell.
There's at least one settlement here in the desert. Hopefully, you'll be able to rest up there. But it seems like it's the bandits' base. They may not exactly welcome a stranger like you.
Well, considering how they've been tracking me, I don't think I'll need to introduce myself.
So, you noticed. Yes, it looks as though they've been keeping an eye on you ever since you stepped foot in their desert.
Let 'em. We'll meet face to face soon enough.
The bandit settlement is just over there. You've had to take quite the long way around, haven't you? If it weren't for that sandstorm, you would have been here in no time. You're nearly to the settlement now. I'm sure that you're looking forward to a bit of rest. But I wouldn't let your guard down if I were you. I would guess that everyone living there is part of the bandit gang.
So don't be surprised if I wake up at knife point, is that it? Fine by me. It'd give me an excuse to beat some information out of them.
You'd use yourself as bait? Just for that? I guess that's just like you. But don't let yourself get hurt, okay?
I don't barter. You got that? Hey, what's with the sourpuss? You don't have a complaint about my fine assortment now, do you?
It's good enough, I suppose.
Go on! I don't need some uppity tourists making demands. Go somewhere else if you don't like my wares. Go on, get!
If you insist, I will. You're not the only merchant around.
That's where you're wrong, Missy. Far as I know, this is the only shop in the desert. There was one other fella, but he couldn't cut it. Lost all his drive to sell out here. When that happens, well, that's the same as death to a salesman.
So? What made him give up?
Damn fool. He bet his dreams on the desert, that's what. Poor old Ramon. He thought he'd make a real name for himself out here, selling to adventurers. But in the end, he lost sight of his dream and his business.
Sounds good for you, though he doesn't seem like he was much of a rival anyway.
Shut it! You don't know the first thing about him!
Didn't mean to offend you. What's there to get so worked up about anyway?
Nothing. Not a damn thing. It's just like you say. He was nothing at all. It's not like he'd ever been a threat to my business anyway. No, not Ramon. I'm done talking about him. If you want to know more, ask him yourself. You'll find him near that old camp in the giant sandbox.
He was a pretty strange guy, wasn't he? But if he's really the only merchant around like he says, then I guess you'll have to count on him for help. Unless, of course, you want to find out for yourself about that Ramon fellow.
I've been surveying the desert all these long years. But I have been completely flummoxed by those cursed tablets.
Unusual to see a traveler around these parts. This is Ruffian, the only settlement in the desert. It used to be a real town once, but most people have gone and given up on the bandit life. We're all that's left.
What's this? A tourist, eh? If you really want to get any of us to talk, you'd better go see Adonis first.
The buildings here are ancient structures from another age. I don't know whether to call this a town or a fortress, but it's definitely unique.
I'd say definitely criminal is closer. At least there's not much of a dress code, other than looking like a thief.
Where'd you come from? You're not one of those sneaks from the Order, are you?
Well, would it really matter if I were?
No. I'm not gonna tell you a thing either way, so you might as well move on.
Guess I should have known better than to ask some lowly grunt. You're no help to me. Where's the boss?
If you think you're gonna get to meet our boss, you'd better learn to ask nicely.
Did I hurt your feelings? Excuse me, but would you do me the great honor of showing me the way to your boss? Please.
I don't have no help to spare for strangers. Find the boss yourself.